Hello dear aspirants, welcome to Ramanujan Academy Maths Planeta YouTube channel. This is yours Prashant Reddy, working as a senior arithmetic, reasoning and pure maths faculty for various competitive examinations since 11 years. Regarding Delhi Police Constable notification, I already made one video. So for that video, really I got a very good response. So thank you everyone who watched that video. So in that notification, numerical ability as well as reasoning. So these two sections play a crucial role. So if you refer the previous notification questions, so that every serious aspirant will have some idea to what extent you can able to read, for what extent you can practice those questions. So in this regard, today in this video, I come up with 15 beautiful questions from numerical ability which was asked in previous notification. So without skipping the video, watch the video completely so that you can able to have an idea regarding the standard, regarding the level of the questions. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get started. All 15 questions from numerical ability. So here is your first question. You can able to see the questions on the screen. So first I am reading the question. So whoever is facing problem, you can pause the video and you can read the question 2 or 3 times, so that you will get some idea. So in all these 15 questions, we are going to solve some questions by using options. We are going to solve some questions by using elimination method. We are going to solve some questions by using some kind of tricks and so many things. So if you watch the video completely, then we have a clear idea. So let me read the question. First question, A and B have money in the ratio of 9:5. If A gives rupees 10 to B, then the ratio of the money will be in 1:1. Then initially how much respective money they had? Initially A and B have money in what ratio? 9:5 ratio. A is having 9 parts of money, B is having only 5 parts of money. For example, if A gives 10 rupees to B, then the ratio of the money between them is 1:1, means they are having equal amount of money. Then the question is, initially how much respective money they had? Initially how much respective money they had? Usually for this type of question, we can able to solve this question in two methods. One is normal method, that is tricky method, and second one is by using optionals. So first of all, let me read the data. The ratio between the money of A and B is in what ratio? 9:5 ratio. A is having 9 parts and B is having 5 parts. For example, if A gives 10 rupees to B, okay, so if A gives 10 rupees to B, then the ratio of the money will be in what ratio? 1:1 ratio, means they are having equal amount of money. For that, to get the equal amount of money here, assume that A is having 9 rupees and B is having 5 rupees. In order to get the same amount of money, A must give 2 parts to B, right? For example, if A gives 2 parts to B, 7 parts as well as 7 parts. Therefore, both are having equal amount of money. So therefore, what you can say, the 2 parts of money is equal 10 rupees. Then you ask to find out what is the amount they have respectively. So A is having 9 parts of money, B is having 5 parts of money. Therefore 2 5s are 10. That's why 9 5s are 45 and 5 5s are how much? 25. That's all. So what is the money they had? A is having 45 rupees of money. Similarly, B is having 25 rupees of money. This is one way of doing. Or else by using options also you can able to solve. Remember, while you are verifying the question with respect to options, each and every condition must be satisfied. So what is the condition? For example, initial ratio is equal to 9:5, right? So 9 5s are 5 9s are 5 5s are. Therefore, initial ratio is equal to 9:5. And if A gives 10 rupees to B, then A gives 10 rupees to B. So A is having 35 rupees, even B is also having 35 rupees. Hence, both conditions are satisfied. By using options also, you can put the first option is your answer. So I hope you understood. Okay, so let's see the next question. So you can able to see the next question on the screen. What is your next question? A retailer deposited some amount of money in the bank. Sorry, the rate of interest for first 3 years is 6% per annum. The next 3 years is rate of interest is 9% per annum. For the period beyond 6 years, the rate of interest is 10% per annum. At the end of 9 years, retailer earns 1650 rupees as a simple interest. So find how much did he deposited. how much amount did he deposited. So I hope you understood meaning the question. So question is regarding simple interest. If question is regarding compound interest, you might have think the question carefully. Since it is simple interest question, you can able to solve the question just like that. Okay, so assume that initial amount is equal to some 100 rupees. Assume that initial amount is equal to what you can say, some 100 rupees. So for the first 3 years, rate of interest is 9% per annum. Okay, so for the next let me read, for the first 3 years rate of interest is 6% per annum. For the next 3 years rate of interest is 9% per annum, and beyond the 6 years rate of interest is 10% per annum, and end of the 9 years. So end of the 9 years means simply what you can write, 3 years 3 years plus 3 years. For the first 3 years rate of interest is how much? First 3 years rate of interest is 6%. What does it mean? For every 100 rupees, he has to pay 6 rupees as interest per 1 year. Similarly, for the next 3 years, rate of interest is 9%. What does it mean? Out of every 100 rupees, he has to repay 9 rupees for every 1 year. Okay, I hope you understood. So means for the first 3 years, rate of interest is 6%, means first year 6 rupees, second year 6 rupees, third year 6 rupees. Together he has to pay total 18 rupees as interest for the first 3 years. And for the next 3 years, rate of interest is 9% per annum. So 9% per annum in the sense for the fourth year 9 rupees, fifth year 9 rupees, and sixth year also 9 rupees. That is 3 into 9 rupees. And beyond the 6 years, rate of interest is 10% per annum. So still we require 3 more years. For these 3 more years, rate of interest is equal to 10%. So if you assume here, what I am getting here? So 18, 27. So let me complete here 18 and 27. So this is equals to 18, 27 means 45. 45 plus 30, 75. Okay, so total interest is equal to what I am getting? 75 I am getting. So therefore 75 parts interest is equal to E only given. How much he given? So 1650 given. Then he asked to find out. So he asked to find out how much amount did he deposited. Means initial amount, principal amount you have to find. 100% value is equal to how much? So if you simplify this, so simply 25 3s are 75, 25 4s are 100. So here also 3 5s are 15, 3 5s are 15. So 550 into 4. 550 into 4 in the sense 500 4s are 2000 and 50 4s are 200. Therefore, what is your answer? 2200 rupees is your answer. So I hope you understood. Let me clarify here. So 18 rupees plus 27 rupees. So 27 plus it remains 45. Yes. So it's clear. I hope you understood. So I hope you understood regarding this question. So if it is compound interest question, you should read the question 2-3 times at least. But since it is simple interest question, just like that you can able to solve. So simply these are the standards of the questions which were asked in previous Delhi Constable notification. So let's see the third question. So here is a third question. Third question is based on time and work question. Okay. So let me read the question. C, D, E together complete a work in 12 days. The efficiency of C is twice that of D, and efficiency of E is thrice that of D. How many days E alone will take to complete this work? So there are 3 persons, namely C, D, and E. The efficiency of C is twice that of D. The efficiency of C. So let me complete here. C is there, D is there, and E is there. The efficiency of C is twice that of D. For example, if D is having 1 part of efficiency, then C should have 2 parts of efficiency, because what he mentioned here, the efficiency of C is twice that of D, and the efficiency of E is thrice that of D. Thrice means 3 times, that you know. So this is simply what you can say, efficiency ratio. And one more question is, they together complete the work in how many days? Together complete the work in 12 days. And the question is, how many days E alone will take to complete this work? Now the question is simply, what you have to do is, this is not the time ratio. This is simply what you can say, efficiency ratio. So C efficiency is 2 parts, D efficiency is 1 part, E efficiency is 3 parts. What does it mean? C can able to finish 2 parts of work in a day, and D can able to finish only 1 part of the work in a day. Similarly, E can able to finish only 3 parts of work in a day. Now if you add all these values, what I am getting? 3 parts plus 3 parts. Total what I am getting? 6 parts value I am getting. 6 parts is not the time. 6 parts is total efficiency. Therefore, 6 parts of total efficiency is equals to what you should take? 1 by 12 you should take. Why I am taking 1 by 12? Because 12 days is the time. The reciprocal of time is nothing but efficiency. Therefore, efficiency is equal to efficiency. So 6 parts of work is equal to 1 by 12. Then the question is, C alone can complete the work in how many days? So C alone can complete the work in how many? C in a one day. In one day, C is finishing how many parts? C is finishing only 3 parts of work. If 6 parts of the work is going to finish in 1 by 12, then 3 parts will be finished in how many? Okay, so if you simplify this, so 3 ones are 3 twos are. What you can say here? We have to multiply 1 by 12 into 2. So 1 by 12 into 2 in the sense what I am getting? 1 by 24. 1 by 24 in the sense what you can say? Therefore, E alone, E's 1 day work is equal to 1 by 24. If E's 1 day work is equal to 1 by 24, therefore whole work can be finished in how many days? 24 days. Okay, this is what actually the procedure is. So I hope you understood. So next question, beautiful question on ages. So let me read the question. The ratio of the present ages of two boys is 5:7. After 4 years, the ratio will be 7:9. What will be the ratio of their ages after 14 years from present? I repeat the question. This question you can able to solve by using 3 methods. Okay, for time being I want to say 1 or 2 methods. That's all. The ratio of the present ages of the boys. The ratio of the present ages of two boys is 5:7. First boy is having 5 parts of age, second boy is having 7 parts of age. After 4 years, the ratio will be 7:9. After 4 years, the ratio will be 7:9. What will be the ratio of their ages after 14 years from present? That is what actually the question is. So we can able to solve this question 2 ways. First method of doing is normal method, and the second method is somewhat very interesting method. Okay, so let me say the first method. So usually the present ages of two boys is 5:7. A is having 5 parts of age. Assume that A and B. First person is having 5 parts of age, second person is having 7 parts of age, and after 4 years the ratio will be 7:9. This is after 4 years. Simply what you have to do is you have to do the cross multiplication. This is also one kind of trick only, but with this trick you may it may take more time. If you discuss our logical method, and we can able to solve the question fraction of seconds. That also I will say in type 2. Now 7 5s are how much? 45. 7 7s are how much? 49. You should take the difference of these two. So difference is equal to 4 parts. Here difference is equal, difference of these two how much? 2 parts. Then the question is what? Now what we do, you ask to find out the ratio between them after 14 years. First what we do is we will try to find out the first person age, and we try to find out the second person age. So if you try to find out the first person age, what you have to do? So with 4 you have to multiply 20. 4 5s are how much? 20. And after getting this upper value should be at lower, and lower value should be at upper. So 4 by 2 in the sense you should write reverse. 2 by 4. So now 4 ones are 4 5s are. Therefore 10 years. The present age of the first person is 10 years. Similarly, if you want to find out the present age of the second person, 4 into 7 how much? 28. And similarly, so this upper part will be at lower, and lower part should be at upper. Therefore 4 ones are 4 7s are. What you can say? 14 years. 14 years is the present age of second person, and 10 years is the present age of the first person. But he asked to find out the ratio between them after 14 years. So present age is equals to 10 years. After 14 years, each age is 24 years. Present age is equal to 14 years, and after 14 years, his age is what you can say? 28 years. Then ratio between them in the sense 24:28. What you can say? So here 4 7s are 4 8s are. Okay, so it's not 4 7s are, sorry. So it's not 4 7s are. What you can say? So normal simplification, 4 6s are and 4 7s are, right? 4 6s are 24, 4 7s are 28. So therefore this is a ratio between the two persons after 14 years. So this is one kind of method. And if you approach the very normal method, if you solve this question by using some other method, okay, so your second part is first initially observe the ratio between them. Ratio between them is 5:7. After 4 years, the ratio is equals to 7:9. So if you think logically, initially the difference between their ages after 4 years in the sense whether it is after 4 years or after 7 years or after 10 years, whatever, the difference between their ages should be same, right? The difference between their ages should be same. For example, one person is having 10 years, another person is having let's say 15 years. After 10 years also, what is the difference between their age gap? So it is same, right? So if you think in that way, now simply what we can say is present 5 parts and after 4 years 7 parts. How many parts age increased? 2 parts of age increased. Present 7 parts, after 4 years age 9 parts. Here also how many parts increased? 2 parts increased. So means, is it the same, the difference between age after 4 years? Yes. Here also difference is equal to what you can say, here also difference is equals to 2 units, and here also difference is equal to 2 units. It is same. Sometimes it won't be same. If it is won't be same, you have to follow the balancing method by using ratio concept. I already told you in various videos. If you refer that videos, you will have an idea. Ratio proportion balancing method, I already told you from our channel. So this 2 parts is equal to how many years? 4 years. Then you have to find out 5 parts value how much, 7 parts value how much. So 2 2s are 4, that's why 5 2s are 10 and 7 2s are 14. Therefore 10 years comma 14 years are the present ages of the persons. But he asked to find out the ratio between them after 14 years. See, this is same now. 10 years to 14 years, so that is same. So in this way I am getting 10 years and 14 years. And after 14 years each age ratio is equals to what you can say again, 6:7. I hope you understood. So here difference must be 2, difference must be 2. If not 2, so difference must be same. So if difference is same, 2 parts is equal to 4 years, then again 5 parts equal to how much? 7 parts equal to how much? With that you will get the present ratios, present ages, and after 14 years in the sense, accordingly you should add 14 years for their respective ages. So I hope you understood. Okay. So sometimes that condition may not be same. At that time you have to follow the balancing method. Regarding balancing method, I already told you some questions from our YouTube channel. Okay. So thank you once again and watch that video. So here is your next question. You can able to see the question on the screen. So what is the question? If a trader marks the price of an article 60% more than their cost price and allows 30% discount, what is his gain percent? It's very simple question. If a trader marks his price of an article 60% more than the CP, for example, cost price is equals to 100 rupees. Then what happened? He marked 60% more than the cost price. So 60% more than the cost price in the sense, market price is equal to how much? Market price is equals to 160, and he allows a 30% discount. He allows 30% discount in the sense, you have to find out the 30% value. So 16 3s are 48. 16 3s are 48 in the sense, 160 minus 48 are how much? 112. So this is the selling price. After allowing 30% discount, he is selling that particular article for 112 rupees. So cost price is equals to 100 and selling price is equals to 112. Therefore gain percentage or profit percentage is equals to simply what you can say, 12%. So that's all. Very simple question. Now you can able to see the one more question on the screen. What is your next question? Due to 20% raise in the price of a sugar, a man is able to purchase 3 kg less sugar for rupees 120. What is the increased price of the sugar? This is something interesting. The question is from percentages. So what is the question? Due to 20% raise in the price of a sugar, price of the sugar is increased by how much? 20%. A man is able to purchase 3 kg less. Why a man is able to purchase 3 kg less? Because the price is increased 20%. In what price? In how much price? In 120 rupees. Okay, a person is decided to purchase some kg of sugar in 120 rupees. After going to shop, he come to know that the price of the sugar is increased by 20%. Since price is increased by 20%, he don't have extra money. He is having only 120 rupees, and because of that he can able to purchase 3 kg less. Means what does it mean? For example, in 120 rupees, if you can able to find out the 20% value, in 120 rupees, if you can able to find out the 20% value, so simply what you can say, 24 rupees. Means price is increased by 24 rupees. Since price is increased by 24 rupees, he don't have extra money. He is having only 120 rupees. Since 24 rupees increased, he can able to purchase 3 kg less. Why he can able to purchase 3 kg less? Because 24 rupees is increased. Means for this 3 kg price is equal to how much? 24 rupees. If 3 kg price is equal to 24 rupees, then 1 kg is equals to 24 by 3. 24 by 3 in the sense, simply what you can say, 8 rupees per kg. Is it 8 rupees per kg after increased or before increased? So it is after increased. For example, put a question yourself. For example, if price is, if you ask you to find out the old price of the sugar, then what is your answer? So please comment your answer. Okay. So I hope you understood. 8 rupees per kg is sugar cost after 20% increased. My question is, so what is the price of the sugar before increase? So please comment your answer. So let's see the next question. So you can able to see the question on the screen. What is the next question? Average of 43, 21, 68, 97, 39 and x is 52. What is the value of x? That is very simple question. Average in the sense we know already. So 43 plus 21 plus 68 plus 97 plus 39 plus x. Average formula is what? Sum of the observations by number of observations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Therefore, this average equal to E only given. How much is given? 52 rupees given. Then he asked to find out the value of x. So for that, simply what we do? We'll add all these values. So here 9 plus 7 in the sense 16. So this is 24, 25, 28. So x I am writing as it is 8. So 5, 14, 20, 26. So 268 plus x that is equals to, you have to multiply these two. 52 into 6. 52 into 6 in the sense 312. 56 are 300. 2 6 are 12. If you shift that side, therefore x is equal to what I am getting? 312 minus 268. So 312 minus 268 in the sense for this we have to add first 32, right? So 32 plus 2, 34, 44. Therefore x value is equal to simply what you can say? 44. That's all. Very simple question. Okay. So this question we can able to solve by using base concept also. You can assume any one number as base. Regarding base concept also, I told you in our channel. Okay. So please do watch those videos. Okay. So somewhat selfish fellow I am. Okay. Alright. So let's see the next question. You can able to see the next question on the screen. What is your question? If 40% of P's income is equal to 75% of Q's income, then Q's income is what percentage of P's income? I repeat the question. If 40% of P's income is equal to 75% of Q's income, let me write roughly 40%. So your next question is 40% of P's income is equals to 75% of Q's income. 45% of P's income is equals to 75% of Q's income. In this case, what you can, P is equal to 75 parts you can take, and Q is equals to 40 parts you can take. Then what is the question? Then Q's income is what percentage of P's income? Since it is of P's income, that of value should be at a denominator. So Q's income is what percentage of P's income in the sense, simply you should write Q by P into 100. Q by P into 100 in the sense, Q's income is what percentage of P's income? That value should be at a denominator. So 40 by 75 into 100. So simply 75 3s are 75 4s are. Okay, so 160 by 3. What you can say? 160 by 3 in the sense 3 5s are 15. Okay, 3 3s are 9. What you can say your answer? 53 1 by 3 percentage. 53 1 by 3 percentage. Therefore, P's income is what? Q's income is what percentage of P's income in the sense 53 1 by 3 percentage. Okay, so please share the video in your respective groups. You are having so many WhatsApp groups, education groups. Those who are seriously preparing for this examination, I am going to help you in near future. It depends on your response. Okay, so please do share in your respective WhatsApp groups, Telegram channels, and Facebook groups, wherever. Okay, in all social, what we can say, media channels. So let's see the next question. So here is the next question. This question is based on purely algebra. Okay, that too in algebra, you are having some algebraic identities like a plus b whole square, a minus b whole square, a plus b whole cube, a minus b whole cube, a cube plus b cube, a cube minus b cube, a plus b plus c whole square. These all are said to be what you can say, algebraic identities. So based on this, you have this beautiful question. He asked to find the value of this. What is the value? 27 whole cube plus 23 whole cube. So whole by 27 whole square minus 27 into 23 plus 23 whole square. Okay, he asked to simplify the value of this, or he asked to find the value of this. Simply, for example, if you don't know the accurate formula, what you have to do? 27 whole square, 23 whole square, and you have to add these two. So square, we have to add these two, you have to multiply, subtraction, and do normal procedure. If you are doing so, you may get the lengthy value. So by seeing this question, see here 27 is there, 27, 23 is there, 23, and how it is, it is like a cube plus b cube by a square minus a into b plus b square. If you remember, okay, if you can able to recognize a cube plus b cube by a square minus ab plus b square. What is the a cube plus b cube value? The a cube plus b cube value is a plus b into a square minus ab plus b square by a square minus ab plus b square. So in both the cases, a square minus ab plus b square, a square minus ab plus b square cancelled. Simply what I am getting? A plus b only I am getting. A plus b in the sense, what does it mean? Your final answer is 27 plus 23, which is equal to 50 is your answer. That's all. If you are doing actual squares and addition subtractions, it may take 3-4 minutes time. That is not comfortable method. That's why by seeing this question, what you should have an idea. You must focus on algebraic identities. Apart from that, surds and indices parts also. Okay. So let's see the next question. So your next question is somewhat logical question. You have to do this question logically. What is the question? How many positive factors of 2000 are there? Sorry, it's not logical question, it's normal procedure. How many positive factors of 2000 are there? The question is, how many positive factors of 2000 are there? You have to find out the various factors for 2000, that are positive factors. For that, what you have to do is, you have to convert this 2000 into prime factorization. Every number can be expressed as product of prime numbers. You have to express 2000 as product of prime numbers. Okay, so you can solve with any prime number. So 5 4s are 2 zeros, and 5 8s are 1 0, 5 1s are 5, 5 6s are. So here we'll take any prime number. So 2 8s are 2 4s are 2 2s are. Indirectly 2000 means what we can express? 5 repeated 3 times and 2 repeated 4 times. Now the bases are prime numbers. Okay, base 5 is there, base 2 is there. So therefore 5 is the prime number, 2 is also prime number. And powers are what? Here power is equal to 3, here power is equal to 4. Simply you have to add plus 1 to the powers and you have to multiply. You have to add plus 1 to the powers. You have to add plus 1 to the powers. You have to multiply. Therefore 3 plus 1 in the sense of 4, and so 4 plus 5 1 in the sense of 5. What is your answer? 20. After expressing the given number into prime factors, then you have to find out the all bases must be prime numbers. Then after, you have to consider the powers. For each and every power you have to add plus 1 and you have to multiply. You will get the all, what you can say, positive factors of 2000. So this is actually the procedure is. I hope you understood. Do like my video. So you can able to see the one more question on the screen. So this question also based on algebraic concept. Let's see. The question is, he asked to find the value of 0.7 whole square plus 0.07 whole square. He asked to find this value 0.7 whole square plus 0.07 whole square. Simply assume that there is no decimal point. If there is no decimal point, 7 square in the sense 49. So you have to keep the decimal point after 2 digits, because 0.7, 0.7. So 2 numbers are there. In each and every number, decimal point is there after 1 digit. That's why you have to keep the decimal point after 2 digits. So here also think that there is no decimal point. If there is no decimal point, 7 square in the sense 49. So here we have 2 digits. That's why you have to keep the decimal point after 4 digits. You have to double that. After 1 digit, in squaring after 2 digits. So here after 2 digits, in squaring after 4 digits. So therefore 1 digit, second digit, third digit, fourth digit. So 0.0049 and 0.49. You have to add both. If you add both, 0.4949 is your answer. That's all. Very simple question. Normal, what you can say, calculation. So let's see the next question. You can able to see the next question on the screen. So this is something logical question. I'm not going to say this question, expecting answer for this question from your side. Okay, so let's see who will respond. The question is, how many times the digit 1 appears in the first 100 whole numbers? Okay, the question is, how many times the digit 1 appears? How many times the digit 1 appears in the first 100 whole numbers? Whole numbers in the sense from 0 to 100. The question is, how many times the number 1 appears from the first 100 whole numbers? First 100 whole numbers in the sense, simply you have to start from 0 and you have to count the all numbers which are having 1. So for example, if you consider 11, in the 11, 1 is appeared how many times? 2 times. Like that you have to count from 0 to 100. Okay, so let's see who will respond for this question. So I'm expecting good response from you people. Okay, so let's see who will solve this question. So now your next question is, if x and y are even numbers, if x and y are even numbers, then which of the following is an odd number? So x and y are both even numbers. He asked to find which of the following are odd numbers. So if you focus on the options, what is your first option? Xy plus 1, and your second option is x plus y plus xy. Your third option is x plus y plus 2. Your fourth option is 3x plus y. Okay, so usually if x and y are both even numbers, even number means what does it mean? Even number in the sense a number is said to be even number which is exactly divisible by 2, right? If the number is exactly divisible by 2, then what you can say, the number is said to be even number. If the two numbers are even numbers, their product, in the sense their multiplication is also even number, their addition is also even number. Okay, but the question is, which of the following is an odd number? Blindly you can say answer is equal to first option. How can you say first option? X is even, y is even, therefore its multiplication also even. For this even number I am adding plus 1. That's why even number plus 1. Obviously what you are going to get? So odd number only you are going to get. So if you don't know, if you are not that much, if you don't have that much stuff in your mind, simply what you have to do is assign randomly some values. Assign randomly some values. Okay, for example, x is equals to 10 you can take, and y is equal to 12, or else take some small values. X is equal to 2 you can take, y is equal to 4 you can take, and verify which of the following is odd number. Okay, but if you think logically, two numbers are even, its product also even, if you are adding plus 1, therefore that is odd number. So first option is your answer. I hope you understood. And we have two more beautiful questions. So let's see those questions. This question is purely based on trains, which is one of the applications of what you can say, time and distance. So time and trains, boats and streams. These two are the applications of time and distance. So let's see the question. Two trains, capital P and Q, starts from stations X and Y towards each other. Trains take 5 hours and 4 hours 3 minutes to reach Y and X respectively after they meet, not from starting, after they meet. If the speed of the P is 54 km per hour, what is the speed of the train Q? I repeat the question. So P train is there, Q train is there. P train is at X point, Q train is at Y point. They are moving towards each other. Okay, and after they are meeting to reach the destination, to reach the Y and X respectively, so train P take 5 hours and train Q takes 4 hours 3 minutes. The question is, if the speed of the train P is 54 km per hour, he asked to find out the train Q speed. This is something interesting question. Let me draw the diagram roughly so that you will have some idea. So here point X is there, and here somewhere point Y is there. Okay, so X and Y, we don't know distance between them, but here train P is there and train Q is there. So both are moving each other in opposite direction. Speed of P is equals to 54 km per hour, and so here speed is equals to, we don't know. Assume that some speed is equal to X km per hour. Okay, so X km per hour. Okay, now the next one is after somewhere they are meeting. It need not be midpoint, somewhere they are meeting. After they are meeting to reach the Y, P takes how many hours? 5 hours. P takes 5 hours time, and after they meet to reach the destination X, this person Q, train Q takes how much time? So 4 hours 3 minutes. So this is equals to 4 hours 3 minutes. And he asked to find out the speed of the second train, that is Q train. So this is very something easy question. So what you have to do, simply, for example, first train takes T1 minutes of time and second train takes T2 minutes of time after they meet. This is important point. After they meet to reach the destinations, first train takes T1 time and second train takes T2 time. Then the ratio between their speeds is equal to, simply you can take ratio between their speeds is equal to, you can take under root of T2 is to under root of T1. That's all. This is the formula when after they meet to reach the respective destinations, first train takes T1 minutes or seconds or whatever time, and the second train takes T2 minutes or seconds or hours, whatever the time. Then the ratio between their speeds is equals to under root of T2 under root of T1. So if you are doing in this way, under root of T2 in the sense 4 hours 3 minutes. So before going to do that, first we will simplify. We will convert into minutes. 4 hours in the sense 4 into 6, 24, 240 minutes. 240 plus 3, 243. Right? So 243. So first we do one thing. First we will simplify this. So if you simplify this, what I am getting? So one is 243 ratio and the next one is equals to 5 hours. 5 hours in the sense 300 minutes. 5 into 60, 300. If you simplify this, 3 8s are 3 1s are 3 1s are 3 hundreds are. Okay. Now what we do? This is under root and this is also under root. Under root of 81 in the sense 9. Under root of 100 in the sense 10. Therefore, first train speed is equal to 9 parts. Second train speed is equal to 10 parts. But in the question, 9 parts value he only given. 9 parts value is equal to 54 kilometers per hour. He asked to find out the 10 parts value. So here 9 6 are 54. Here also 10 into 6 are what you can say 60 kilometer per hour. You can use this formula if the time will be given after they meet. Okay. So I hope you understood. So these are the 14 questions. Now we have one more beautiful question. So let's see that last question. A triangle having perimeters a triangle having perimeter 40 centimeters. Perimeter in the sense sum of all sides, right? A triangle is having perimeter 40 centimeters and one side is 11 centimeter and the difference between the other two sides is 3 centimeters. What is the area of the triangle? He asked to find out the area of triangle. For example, specifically if he mentioned a equilateral triangle or isosceles triangle, then we have some specific formulas. But in the question, since he didn't mention anything, simply what we can do is you have to apply this formula, Heron's formula. What it is? Delta is equals to under root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C formula. By using that Heron's formula, you can able to find out the area of triangle. Where S in the sense what? Semi-perimeter. S in the sense semi-perimeter. That is A plus B plus C by A plus B plus C by 2. So let me draw the rough diagram. So this is your ABC triangle. Assume that this is equals to A, this is equals to B and this is equal to C. E only given A plus B plus C value. A plus B plus C in the sense perimeter is equal to 20 and A value, assume that A value is equal to 11 and the difference between other two is equal to 3. If difference between other two sides is equal to 3 in the sense, if this is equals to X, then this must be either X plus 3 or X minus 3. Even though you will get the same answer, the difference must be 3 units. And this is equals to 40. Therefore, 2x is equals to, this is 8, 40 minus 8 means 32. So, 2 1s are 2 6 are. X is equal to what I am getting? 16. If x is equal to 16, A is equal to 11 centimeters, B is equal to 16 centimeters, C is equal to 13 centimeters. You are getting different sides. Means it is a scale and triangle. For that, first you have to find out the S. S in the sense semi-perimeter. You need not to find A plus B plus C by 2. I know already A plus B plus C value. So, to 40 by 2 in the sense 20. Therefore, area of triangle formula under root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. Substituting in that, under root of 20 into 20 minus 11 in the sense 9. 20 minus 16 means 4. 20 minus 13 means 7. Okay. So, here 20 means you can write 4 into 5. So, 4, 1 4 will come out. Square root of 9 in the sense 3. Here 5 you have, here 7 you have. 7 into 5, Yes, so here 5 you have, here 7 you have, 7 into 5 35, that will be in square root because 7 and 5 they are not perfect squares. So 12 root 35 is your final answer. 12 root 35 square units is your square centimeters is your final answer. If anybody from non-maths background, I repeat the question once again. So 20 in the sense you can write 4 into 5. Okay, so 4 into 5 means here 1 4 and 1 4. For these two 4s, 1 4 will come out. Square root of 9 in the sense 3. Here 5 you have, here 7 you have. 5 into 7 35. So therefore 35 is not a perfect square number. It will be in root only. So 12 root 35. Therefore, so these are the first 15 questions which were asked in previous Delhi Constable Police examination. So with these 15 questions, you can have an idea to what extent you have to prepare. You need not to prepare for SSC, CGL or CHSL level, or you need not to prepare bank PO or clerical level. Okay, you should first what you have to do is you have to divide each and every topic in 3 categories: moderate level easy questions, moderate questions, advanced questions. First prepare easy to moderate questions, that's all. Okay, if you have a good time, you practiced everything, then some extent you can prepare for advanced level questions also if you have a time, or else first focus on basic questions, then after moderate questions from numerical ability. So if you follow this rule, then getting 15 out of 15 is very easy. The only thing is you have to practice, because time plays a crucial role. Fraction of seconds you have to solve. If you are from mathematics background, you would have solved, but if you are from non-mathematics background, you have to practice more and more when compared to science background students. Okay, so I hope you like all these 15 questions. So don't forget to subscribe my channel, Ramanujan Academy Maths Planet. Write, comment your feedback, and see you in the next video. So thank you very much.